I'm on season 5 of Ballers with you, and you've inspired me to get in the gym because I don't want to look foolish standing next to you. So, DJ, I'm coming after you.
All right, so The Rock took notice, tweeting, "You have 18 Super Bowl rings, and I have tattoos and a bald head. You win, Stink. See you on set, brother."
That's super cool. Now, the only thing cooler than that video and that picture is Jenna Wolf watching that video in full judgment of Mark Schlereth.
No, I will.
No, you're not supposed to wave your back. You're not supposed to go back and forth.
He knows that.
It's not proper form.
No.
What's he doing there?
Truth is, you aren't supposed to swing. Use it from your core. Let your core help you start the muscle and the movement. But he knew that because people tweeted to him and said, "Your form is all off."
Annoying people like you.
I did not. I called him. I did not tweet. I called him to tell him.
It was like, "Oh, can I give you some pointers? You're going to hurt your back."
I didn't want him to hurt his back.
3-time Super Bowl champion.
Love Sting.
Yeah, I mean, the guy's rocked up at 50 years old, however old he is.
Anyway, he looks great.
Yeah, I got a couple people on staff that said they were at the Fox gym with Jenna. Her technique is in the question.
That's not true.
I've heard that too.
I will not go on with this show.
I've heard that too.
Not in question.
No, I got a couple guys that said they were checking you out.
I've heard there's some outtakes of the Instagram video of
You
Jenna
didn't have the 15% body lean that you knew when you were on the treadmill.
On the technique. Stories to start your morning now that I'm all disgruntled and everything.
I saw that video when I was gone of you trying to do them push-ups, butt all in the air. Like, what are you doing?
It wasn't. That was all from the core, Nick. You haven't even done a push-up yet. LeBron said he'll skip the World Cup this summer, but he left the door open to play in the 2020 Olympics. Nick, you think LeBron will be on the Olympic team?
What a weird guy I am. Don't drop to the floor in the middle of a workday. Do push-ups in a suit. Listen, do I think LeBron's going to be on the 2020 Olympic team? I'd be very surprised by it, but I'm surprised he opened the door to it. This is, you don't usually see guys at this stage of their career in the Olympics. Now, you raise an interesting point, see, that original Dream Team, 92 Dream Team, Larry and Magic were at the end. And they did it to be a part of something bigger than
Larry
them and
could
something
barely
special.
practice, didn't necessarily play in all the games, but was there for everything else because they had earned it, and that's where LeBron James would be at that point. I'm glad he left the door open. He definitely shouldn't be doing anything this offseason, so even if they made the playoffs, I didn't think he would be involved this offseason.
Yeah, certainly not in the World Cup. The 2020 Olympics could be cool.
All right, moving on to college basketball now. After being courted by UCLA, Coach John Calipari agreed to a lifetime deal to stay at Kentucky. See, what'd you make of Kentucky locking up Coach Cal?
It's a perfect marriage for Big Blue Nation and for Coach Calipari. People will look at relationships and don't know what they see. But for Kentucky, what they're doing, they're branding of basketball, and there's no more popular hotbed of basketball than in Lexington, Kentucky. Why would he leave there? He's a Jersey guy, man. He doesn't want to go to the West Coast.
So that's what was so surprising, because you know Coach Cal really well, and I don't know him personally except for through you. If you had an opportunity to win a championship at the 2 greatest college basketball institutions ever, he's already done it at Kentucky, go to UCLA and do it, I thought it'd be attractive to him. You said he's not a UCLA type of guy.
No.
And that Kentucky, even if he were to go to UCLA, Kentucky's set up so much better for success than
I was
UCLA
actually in Hollywood with him a couple years ago. He was doing something different than I was doing, and he wasn't, man. He wasn't, man. He's about the Jersey Shore. That's about as much. Okay, he's not about that type of lifestyle and his recruiting style with one and done. Why would he have to reestablish that? Even though they might change the total rule in a couple years, he can run his program at Kentucky. I don't believe he can do that at UCLA.
To the NFL now, the Raiders are holding private workouts with both quarterback Kyler Murray and quarterback Dwayne Haskins. See, you think the Raiders will draft a quarterback?
This is the right thing to do as far as working these 2 kids out. When you have a top 5 selection and you don't have one of the top 10 quarterbacks, you should look at it. I don't believe they'll select a quarterback in that first round, but if you look at what the Raiders need to do in the next couple years, like, is Derek Carr that guy? Now, I don't think they'll select a quarterback, and you think behind the scenes that Gruden might not like Derek Carr as the future. And if you're going to Vegas, I would take a different face to Vegas with me if I felt that.
I think that Gruden got to Oakland and realized, oh, this is not the quarterback that I saw once a year on Monday Night Football. And that's why he traded Khalil Mack. That's why he was okay with trading Amari Cooper, because he said, we're going to have to reboot this thing entirely around a young rookie quarterback by the time we get to Vegas. So I wouldn't be surprised at all if Haskins is there at 4, if no one jumps up to go get him, if they don't take Dwayne Haskins at 4.
I like that.
All right, finally, chatting Odell again. He met with the Cleveland media for the first time yesterday and shed some light on how excited he is about this new Browns offense. He'll be paired up with wide receiver and best bud Jarvis Landry. Landry and Odell played 3 years of football at LSU together before reuniting in Cleveland. Odell says he can't wait to see what the pair can do.
We spoke this into existence almost. And him and I dreamed of this. You know, this is something we talked about at 17. I'm gonna live right down the street from you. We're gonna be on the same team, everything. And it's like surreal.
I know the competitive nature that he has inside of him, you know, is different. It's very different, you know. And he's gonna push myself. He's gonna push the room. He's gonna push a lot of guys on his team. He's gonna push Baker, you know, being one of the more faster guys in the room. So you have to throw it out there a little further. But man, he's everything and more. He's everything and more. You know, it's honestly an honor to have him back and have him in these colors, ready to do something special.
All right, so clearly they have the relationship off the field. Let's talk about the relationship they're going to have on the field. What's the potential for this wide receiver duo, CC?
I think they have tremendous potential because also they have skills that overlap, but they have skills also that, one, in Jarvis Landry, he has a more physical approach to the game. He can operate in the slot, cross the middle. He can take a pounding. He's a volume wide receiver, catches the ball in short areas, very, very effective on catch after the run. Now, these aren't things that Odell is not good at, but Odell, as he mentioned, is a better deep threat. He frightens the defense more. He's better off the press. He also can play outside. I believe he's more consistent playing outside the numbers. So their skill set really matches up. What really matches up, though, is their intensity and how they approach the game. You fell in love with Jarvis last year in Hard Knocks because how he was demonstrative in trying to lead not only the wide receivers, but these Cleveland Browns. But I believe the secret sauce is people will be like, well, Freddie Kitts, how's he going to handle it? I believe that the wide receiver coach in Adam Henry, because he's had history. He's the wide receiver coach now in Cleveland. He was Odell's wide receiver coach when he was with the Giants. He was both their wide receiver coaches when they were at LSU. So seeing these kids grow up and being a part and having a speaking voice to them, it becomes important. Because wide receivers, man, we do a lot of things. But as far as people who can actually speak to us and have an impact, they are few. And Odell, there's only a few people that really have his attention. As far as football right now, I can't even speak to Odell because my coaching style is too harsh for him. I have told him the hardcore facts as far as what his career can be and what his career won't be if he continues to not do the things the right way. So Adam Henry, he doesn't have that problem. I talked with him. He's excited about having Odell. He believes he can get the best out of Odell. And I just believe what they have together is something special. And you can't take away. I know we heard someone else talk about I spoke stuff into existence. But when you grow up as a kid, and man, all you doing is dreaming about playing football. And this guy, I know, because I went to college with my best buddy. Him and I, we text each other. We talked this Sunday, man. I was up in Minneapolis. We were talking about basketball games and everything. Man, what I would have done to play football with him in the pro football, like it has some little extra there. So I believe that and what they mentioned there, it is substantial, and I believe they'll be able to build on it.
Let's set the relationship part of it aside because that is unique, almost in NFL history. What these two guys, same age, same draft class, went to the same school. Now they're both first-round pick caliber players. Now they're getting to play together. Let's just talk about two great wide receivers playing together. The best wide receiver duo in NFL history was from 1998 to 2001, Chris Carter and Randy Moss. That's a fact. Look it up. Put those 4 years against any other duo ever. Now, Jarvis is not that caliber of player. However, I think this is the best duo we now have in the NFL. What can that do to defenses? What type of pressure can you put on defenses having 2 Pro Bowl caliber guys on the field at that position at all times?
I think the one thing that made Randy and I special was our offensive line. They didn't get a lot of credit, but we were able to run the ball, even though people, because basically you can't double team both of them. All you can really do is play a lot of cover 2, where you try to jam both of them up and you have safety help over both sides of the field. But against cover 2, running the football. Freddie Kitchens, what did he do last year? Nick Chubb, when he took over as offensive coordinator, man, people talk about Baker, the passing, but what they did was get physical. So it makes the defense, you can't be real aggressive. When you have guys that can catch the ball and run off with it, you can only blitz so much. So a lot of the defenses you can't do against weapons like they have in Cleveland.
And that's something that, and this is why my expectations for Odell this year are so high, because you were going to be in the latter stages of your career great no matter what. You talked about in year 15, you ran the fastest 40 you've ever run.
Yes.
But I don't know exactly what your numbers would have been if Randy didn't show up. I think you'd have been great no matter what, but it was clear not only pushing each other at the same time, but the different elements of you had gone through a few years where, how are we going to stop the Minnesota Vikings? We're going to stop Chris Carter. We're going to stop Chris Carter. He's going to be our focal point. Once Randy got there, there was another element. You can't let Randy kill us over the top, or you got to worry about Chris on third downs. Like, a lot of problems there to deal with for a defense, which is how you go become the highest scoring offense in NFL history one year. You go 15-1. You go to another conference championship game. Odell has been the focal point of the other team's defensive game plan almost every game since he came into the league. Last year, he got a little bit of the benefit from Saquon, but Eli and the offensive line were so limited that he wasn't able to fully exploit it. By this time Saquon was hitting his stride, Odell was hurt again. Odell has an opportunity to face easier defenses, at least easier defensive looks than he's ever faced, to go along with the best quarterback he's ever played with. And people take issue when I say that. The point I'm making is not that Eli, forget what Eli was. Where Baker is right now, he plays at a higher level than Eli has played over the last 5 seasons.
Yes.
And so he has the best quarterback. He is, I think, at the most peace he's been since his rookie season. And he's got a legitimate number 2 wide receiver who just got brought in and paid like he could be a number 1. Everything is set up well for Odell. But there should be no excuses on his end for not having as productive of a season as we've ever seen him have in this league.
That's the Mangini take. I'll believe it when I go out and see what he can do, because he hasn't really...
Mangini's a pessimist, man. That Cleveland weather's got him down or something.
We went to summer camp together, so I'm right there. Coming up, what has LeBron motivated this offseason? Nope. What has LeBron so motivated? Why is LeBron so motivated? LeBron is so motivated. I'm going to tell you why. Next on First Things First.
Shanna was thinking about that summer camp that didn't exist.